From today we are starting a study of the well-known minor Upanishad, Narayana Upanishad. It belongs to the Krishna Yajurveda. It's quite popular and is often chanted on important religious occasions. So let us first begin with a chanting of the Upanishad. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Om Atha Purusho Havai Narayano Kamayata Prajasrujeti. Narayanat Prano Jayati Manas Sarvendriyani Cha Kham Vairjyotirapa Prithvi Vishwasya Dharini. Narayanat Brahma Jayati Narayanad Rudro Jayati Narayanad Indro Jayati Narayanat Prajapataya Prajayanti Narayanad Dvadashaditya Rudravasavas Sarvani Cha Chandagamsi Narayanadiva Samutpadyanti Narayane Pravartanti Narayane Praliyanti. Om Atha Nityo Narayanaha Brahma Narayanaha Shivascha Narayanaha Shakrascha Narayanaha Dyava Prithivyav Cha Narayanaha Kalascha Narayanaha Dishascha Narayanaha Urdhvascha Narayanaha Adhascha Narayanaha Antarbahishcha Narayanaha Narayanayividagam sarvam Yadbhutam yaccha bhauyam Nishkalo niranjano nirvikalpo nirakhyata shuddho divaiko Narayanaha Nadvitiyosti kaschit ya evam veda savishnuriva bhavati Om ityagrebhyo harit nama iti paschat Narayanayetyuparishtat Om ityekaksharam nama iti dve akshare Narayanaiti panchaksharaणि Etadvai Narayanasyaष्टाक्षरं padam Yo havai Narayanasyaष्टाक्षरं padamadhyeti Anapabravas sarvamayureti Vindati prajapatyagam rayasposhangau patyam Tato mritatvamashnuti tato mritatvamashnuta iti Ya evam veda Pratyaganandam brahma purusham pranavasvarupam Akara ukaramakara iti Tani kadha samabharattadetadobhiti Yamuktva muchyati yogi janma samsara bandhanat Om namo Narayanayeti mantropasakaha Vaikuntha bhuvana lokam gamishyati Tadidam param pundarikam vijnanaghanam तस्मात् तदिदावन्मात्रम् ब्रह्मण्यो देवकी पुत्रो ब्रह्मण्यो मधुसूदनो सर्वभूतस्थमेकन्नारायणम् कारणरूपमकारपरब्रह्मो एतदथर्वशिरो योधीते प्रातरधीयानो रात्रिकृतं पापन्नाशयति सायमधीयानो दिवसकृतं पापन्नाशयति माध्यन्दिनमादित्याभिमुखो धीयानः पञ्चपातकोपपातकात् प्रमुच्यते सर्ववेदपारायणपुण्यं लभते नारायणसायुज्यमवाप्नोति नारायणसायुज्यमवाप्नोति य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत्. Before beginning a study of this Upanishad, some background knowledge about the Hindu scriptures is very necessary. Hinduism has the unique distinction of being the only religion in the world which doesn't have a single founder, doesn't have a single scripture, doesn't have a single church. Well, whether that is its strong point or weak point, we do not know, but it's a statement of fact. Actually, it's a confederation of many religious cults and groups which were born and bred on the soil of undivided India. And according to Swami Vivekananda, the very name Hinduism, which comes from the name of the river Sindhu or Indus, is more or less a geographical name. Whatever it is, what is now known as Hinduism, but called by us as the religion eternal Sanatana Dharma, does have a basic scripture which is well known as the Vedas. All of us know that the Vedas are 4 in number, and so on and so forth. Literally, the word Veda comes from the root Vid, Jnani, and means knowledge. So it is a body of knowledge containing spiritual wisdom from time immemorial. These Vedas are revealed scriptures. They are apaurusheya. No Purusha or human being has composed them, has created them. They were being revealed now and then to the rishis or great sages in their depths of meditation, and whatever was revealed to them, they used to transmit to their disciples by word of mouth. So it came to be known as Shruti, something which is heard and transmitted by word of mouth, heard by the ear and again memorized. Krishna Dvaipayana Muni found during his time that the volume of Vedic mantras was growing by leaps and bounds, and he was afraid that it may not be possible for the ordinary human minds to remember the whole Vedic lore or literature or the mantras. It may be lost forever to the future generations. He wanted to do something in the matter. So he took the trouble of collecting all the Vedic mantras that were extant during his time, then divided them into 4 groups: Rik, Yajus, Sama and Atharva. Of course, here I am giving the traditional view. not the view of the modern Western scholars. Since religion during those days was mainly centered on the Vedic sacrifices, the division of the Vedic mantras also was done with a view to making the sacrificial system more easy. So all the mantras which were to be used by the priest called Hotri or Hota, whose main duty was to invite the various deities to the sacrifices. Hve means to call, to invite. Hota is the priest who invites the gods to the sacrificial altar to receive their shares of the offerings. So all such mantras were grouped together, and that came to be known as Rig Veda. And other mantras, including the mantras in prose, connected with the actual performance of the sacrifices, was grouped as Yajus, and this was mainly useful to the priest called Adhvaryu. He was the chief person on whom depended the conduct of the entire sacrifice. Then the third priest, Udgatra, his main duty was to sing some of the Vedic mantras set to the Saptasvara system, 7 notes of music, at appropriate places. In fact, the Udgatra's Veda, Samaveda, is practically the origin of our music. So such mantras, 99% of which were taken from the Rig Veda but set to music, were allotted to the Udgatra priest, and that came to be known as Samaveda. And the balance, whatever was left out, something like an appendix, was grouped as the fourth Veda, Atharvana Veda, and assigned to the fourth priest called Brahma. But then, each one of these Vedas again has 4 divisions. Krishnadvaipayana Vyasa saved the Vedas by collecting the Vedic mantras and dividing them into 4 groups and teaching them to his 4 disciples so that they could carry on the Vedic tradition. That is why he came to be known as Veda Vyasa. When we take up each one of these Vedas, we find that again there are 4 portions, 4 parts: Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka and Upanishad. Samhita means a collection of hymns, stotras, addressed to the various deities who are invited in the sacrifices to take the oblations that are offered unto them. The second portion called Brahmana. Brahmana means that which is useful to the priest in conducting the sacrifice. Practical instructions, the modus operandi in performing a sacrifice. Such portions were separated and they were called as Brahmanas. Then came the third part, Aranyakas, meditations to be practiced in the forest, mainly meant for the Vanaprasthas. The Samhita was practically for the Brahmacharin, the Brahmana for the Grihastha, and the Aranyakas mainly for the Vanaprasthas. The Vanaprastha has just retired from family life. He is not yet fit for taking the 4th ashrama, sannyasa. The samskara, the impression of the Vedic sacrificial religion is very much there in his mind, but at the same time he has neither the time nor the energy nor the facilities to perform such sacrifices in the forest. Nor was it necessary also for him at that stage. So he was advised to take up some of these sacrifices, the details of which he knew very well, imagine them in the mind, and symbolical meanings were given. He was to meditate upon the various aspects of the physical sacrifices in the mind with the corresponding symbolical meanings. So this helped him to create the habit of upasana or meditation. That is why Aranyakas are also called as Upasana Kanda. Then gradually, as the mind became capable of concentrating on the higher truths, he was advised to take sannyasa, and the fourth part of the Vedas, the Upanishads, were specifically meant for the sannyasi, to practice jnana and get atma jnana or moksha. Since the Upanishads come at the end of the Vedas, they are also called as Vedanta. Here the word anta means something which comes at the end. But Upanishads are not Vedanta only because they come at the end portion of the Vedas, because some of the Upanishads come a little earlier. Ishavasya comes in the Samhita part. Quite a few come in the Aranyaka portions. So, anta also means the essence. The essence of the entire Vedic literature is contained in the Upanishads. Shruti Shiras it is called, something which is the crown of the entire Vedic literature or Vedas. And the Upanishads are mainly for the sannyasins, or for that matter, they are meant for anyone who is interested in, not in the worldly life, but in getting moksha by leading a spiritual life. The word Upanishad has been defined by Bhagavan Shankaracharya in detail in his commentary on the Kathopanishad. Upa, Ni and Sad. There are three words. We need not bother about Upa and Ni. They are syllables added for enhancing the meaning of the original word. Sad is the main word here. Sad means Visharana, Gati, Avasadana. Visharana, loosening. Gati, leading to the ultimate goal. Avasadana, destroying. So that knowledge, spiritual knowledge or wisdom, which loosens our bondage of samsara, which destroys our ignorance, and which leads us ultimately to Brahman Atman, our essential real nature, that spiritual knowledge or wisdom is called as Upanishad. Of course, another simpler meaning is also given. Upa means near, Ni means below, Sad means to sit. The disciple approaches the Guru seeking spiritual knowledge, sits near him at his feet, puts questions on the ultimate values of life, and the Guru answers, and that contains the wisdom that frees us from the bondage of samsara. How many Upanishads are there? That is the next question. Today nearly 256 or 258 Upanishads have been printed. Most of the Upanishads were composed much later, even as late as 16th and 17th centuries, by the various cults which wanted to propagate their cults through works which appeared like Upanishads. The 10 Upanishads or the 11 Upanishads upon which Bhagavan Shankara has written commentaries have come to be known as Dashopanishads. They are considered to be major Upanishads, most important of the Upanishads. And these 10 plus another 3 or 4 have been dealt with in detail in the Brahma Sutras. Therefore, normally traditions accepts only these 10 to 15 Upanishads as important, as major Upanishads. Then all the other Upanishads are clubbed together as minor Upanishads. So we see here that the word major or the word minor has been used not in the sense of the volume of the work, but in the sense of its importance, primary and secondary. Secondary Upanishads are minor Upanishads. In fact, among the so-called major Upanishads, Kena is very small, Ishavasya is very small, even Aitareya Upanishad is very small. Whereas Upanishads like Narada Parivrajaka Upanishad and so on, they are quite big, quite voluminous. So, when we use the word minor Upanishads, we should understand them in the sense of importance. They are given less importance in our tradition than the other Upanishads upon which Shankara has written commentaries. Again, these Upanishads can be classified according to the subject content. There are some Upanishads meant only for the sannyasins. They deal with the sannyasa ashrama, the process of taking sannyas, the code of conduct to be followed by the sannyasins, and so on. They are called sannyasa Upanishads. There are other Upanishads which are highly technical and deal with the yoga system, not only of Patanjali but also of other aspects of yoga. So they are Yoga Upanishad, Yoga Shikhopanishad, and so on. Kundalini Shakti, so many mantras, all these things are dealt with there. Then there are cult Upanishads, Vaishnava Upanishads, Shakta Upanishads, and Shaiva Upanishads. Obviously they deal with the cult deities. Among the Vaishnava Upanishads, Narayana Upanishad has a very, very important place. Kalisantarana Upanishad is another. It deals with the mantra Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. And there are other Upanishads called Krishna Upanishad, Garuda Upanishad, Gopala Tapini Upanishad, Tarasaro Upanishad, Nrisimha Tapini Upanishad, Rama Tapini Upanishad, Rama Rahasya Upanishad, Vasudeva Upanishad, Hayagriva Upanishad, and so on. But undoubtedly Narayana Upanishad is, even among these minor Upanishads, a very ancient Upanishad. That has to be conceded. It belongs to the Krishna Yajurveda. Yajurveda has been divided into two branches, Shukla Yajurveda and Krishna Yajurveda. It is very difficult to explain why Shukla and Krishna were added to Yajurveda, why it was divided into these two systems, two branches, and why these particular words were added. So many explanations are given. Krishna may mean something which is dark, so ancient, coming from times immemorial. Shukla may be something more recent. Or Krishna may be something not very good, Shukla something which is white and pure. It all depends upon the way you interpret. When a cup of tea contains, when a teacup contains 50% of tea, some people may say it is half full, some people may say it is half empty. So it all depends upon the particular persons who are propagating their cult. And the commentators and also the Upanishad itself say that this is Shirorupa. It is like a crown for all the four Vedas. That is the importance that has been given to this Upanishad by some of the traditional commentators. Generally the Upanishads are in the form of dialogues, conversations between the Guru and the disciple. Shaunuko havai mahashalaha angirasam vidhivat upasannaha papracha, or Narada approaching Sanat Kumara. So it is all in the form of conversation. The Shishya goes to the Guru, approaches him properly, and then puts him some questions and the Guru answers. But here, in this Upanishad, the whole teaching starts straight away. There is no Guru, no disciple. Upanishad itself is the Guru and we are all the disciples, that's all. Straight away the teaching begins. Atha Purusho Havai Narayanaha Akamayata Rajaha Srijeya Iti. So the first section of this Upanishad deals with various aspects of creation, all of them coming from one and the same original source, Lord Narayana. Atha, that is the first word that is used. Atha is a very important word in Sanskrit, and practically all the sutra works begin with this word. Athato Brahma Jignasa, Atha Yoga Anushasanam, Athato Bhakti Mimamsa, and so on. And commentators take pleasure in interpreting such words in different ways. According to Amarakosha, the famous Sanskrit dictionary, the word atha has 3 or 4 senses. The first one is grantha arambha. It indicates the beginning of a work. The moment we see atha, we can take it for granted that the work starts from there, or that a new section containing a new teaching has started from that point. But more commonly, it represents mangala, auspiciousness. Omkarascha atha shabdascha dvavetau brahmana pura kantham bhitva viniryatau tena mangalikau ubhav. It is an oft-quoted shloka which says, when Chaturmukha Brahma wanted to create the world, the first words that he uttered were Om and Atha. Therefore, these 2 words, Om and Atha, they mean, they create, they produce, they give auspiciousness the moment they are uttered. So if we say Om, if we say Atha, that means a very auspicious time, work, moment has begun.